Hi everyone, welcome to season 2, the first episode. I am filming from London, England. I am in front of, or actually surrounded by, the Barbican Centre. So today's question comes from a current student, who was asking me about their future. They wanted to talk about their career prospects, and they said, Professor Lumsden, I am not sure what I want to do in the future. I really just don't know. I don't have any idea. There are things that I like in school. I like mock trial. I think I like litigation, but I don't know what kind of litigation. I'm a second year, and maybe I haven't done as much as I should have in terms of internships and externships. What do you recommend? Like, where do I begin? So as with every question, I think that every question that I get asked is a valuable question, and I'm glad that I get to share this one on camera because I've heard it many times, and I do not have an answer that I can give to you in a minute or under 5 minutes. However, what I can say is that there are some things that you can do in order to start yourself on the pathway towards finding a passion, finding something that you really want to do in life. And you just have to start somewhere. There are so many different pathways in life, and there's no right path. I think sometimes the pressure, students a lot of times feel that there's so much pressure because you've got just 3 years and you have to figure out what you want to do, because there's some people who come into law school knowing what they want to do in advance. And so if you're not one of those students who feels that they know already that they want to go out and become a public defender or district attorney or some other set out for you path, then it can feel very disjointed or isolating, I guess, because you think, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm never going to know. But what I can say to you is that there's no race. And there's this phrase that says the race is not for the swift. And so it's not about getting to some kind of random finish line. It's just about following your own journey. So what I would do if I were you is to start with things that you do love. What is it that you start with? Classes that you like. Let's say that you like torts, for example. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to become a personal injury lawyer, but maybe it means that you start talking to some lawyers who practice that kind of work to see, first of all, not just what they had to know going into that job in order to be successful, but what their day-to-day lives are. I think too many times we think about substantively, oh, I love this particular area of law. I love constitutional law. Okay, well, that's great. What does that mean for you as a practicing attorney? What is your life going to look like? Are you going to be working 9 to 5 every day, 9 to 7? Are you going to be working weekends? And so I think one of the things that people need to think about, students and others, when they're thinking about career paths, is not just what will stimulate you intellectually, but also what will allow you to have the kind of family life or the kind of personal life that you choose to have. Now, if you don't have a personal life, and you're cool with not having one, and you come to me and say, Professor Lumsden, I want to work at a big law firm, then I'm going to say, go for it, because you're not going to have a personal life. So you don't want to go in there expecting one and then be angry when you get assignments at 4:59 on a Friday that are due at 8 a.m. on Monday morning. If you don't have a personal life and you don't care about having one, then hey, that's really cool. And I am not knocking that, because there is a time and a place to work really hard. However, if you know that you already have children or commitments or just family reasons that are keeping you in a certain place, like in the Bay Area, or that are keeping you, tied to a particular way of life, then you should think about that. And the only way to get the best advice is through informational interviews. I cannot recommend informational interviews enough, more highly. This is not just for current students. Everyone at every point in their careers should be thinking about, not just thinking about, should be conducting informational interviews. And the time to do them is not when you're unhappy, it is when you are happy as well, because you just never know what might happen in life. You want to have a source of, or several sources, people that you know that you've talked to who kind of know what you're about and know what you want out of life. And the only way to do that is to talk to people, do your research, and the fastest way to get sort of a bead on a particular practice area or particular area of the law, a particular lifestyle, is to talk to other people. And frankly, I find it that it's the most fun way of going about and establishing your career, is to talk to others and to talk to them and to listen really as to what, how they went about choosing the particular career path. Sometimes the route is not what you would expect. A lot of people will tell you, a lot of lawyers will tell you that they fell into their first job and 30 years later they've taken a path that they couldn't have expected. Anyway, I could talk forever about informational interviews, and I would like to do a specific episode about how you ask for an informational interview and what to do when you're on one specifically, so that you get the most value out of that time. But for now, I am over my 5-minute limit, and so I am going to say goodbye. I look forward to talking to you more in the future. I'm sort of on a little bit of a European adventure, so I look forward to showcasing other fantastic places over here. Until next time. Filming from the Barbican, and I am actually in the city of London, which is a historic and old, actually the oldest part of London. I am in the shadow of St. Giles Church. You can kind of see it behind me. You can tell that you're in the city of London. There's a yellow line that goes around the city that sort of marks the border of the old city. It is off the tourist path, the well-beaten tourist path, and so for that reason alone, it's a good reason to come down here. You can get some relief from the crowds. It really does feel like a different part of London. It's funny because on the one hand, you've got all of this history with this church, but then on the other hand, you have this Bauhaus architecture that is the Barbican. Many people find it ugly, but I think it's ugly in the same way that, maybe in the same way that the Eiffel Tower is ugly. It may be ugly to the eye, but it's a place to see, and it's different and it's striking, and for that reason alone, a place worthy of visiting. So don't be a snob. Come on down here. There's plenty to eat, there's plenty to see. If you are into culture, if you're into music, sometimes you don't even have to pay. You can stand outside and hear some of the most amazing choral music, great theater, great shows, all in this one place. It's really just unbelievable how much culture there is in London. You basically can't walk around without stubbing your toe on culture and history. And for that reason, I love London.